Hi all. Hi everyone. Good evening everyone. Finding our way to come together for our evening meditation this Friday evening. Welcome to everyone. Hi all. Welcome to each of you this evening for our sit, for our meditation. So welcoming you to join, even if you've never joined before, or even if you've never meditated before. I welcome you to just come and sit as you are. Hi. Hi Rhonda and Mike. Welcome. It's always so sweet for me to see everybody who's coming and joining and hopping on these evenings. Hi Jack. Namaste. So making our way. Hi Laura. Welcome. And I find it a bit humorous because just before the meditation I was thinking, oh, we might have a little bit less because it's a Friday night, but actually I don't think it really matters, right? So that probably is a concept at this point that's getting clarified, that it only exists in our heads. Friday or Saturday night or any of those things, it's not like we're all necessarily going out somewhere at this time. I'm having a little slip and slide with devices here, so hopefully we'll start to stabilize at some point. Welcome everyone. Yeah, someone was just writing, can you share the video on Facebook, or can it be, can you create a watch party for the meditation? You absolutely can, actually. So you can create a watch party, others can join. Hi, Alexander. Oh, hi, Sasha. Long time no see, it's true. It's so beautiful to see all these different beings from around the world. Hi, Pam. So happy you're here as well. And really, I don't know if we're going on 5 weeks or how many weeks we've been together in this way. Hi, Liz as well, and Sasha. But it's been some weeks now, and quite consistently many of you have been coming. Whether it's been to all the offerings or you've been coming more consistently, this has been a committed time for you to the meditations or the vichara yoga in the mornings. Hi, namaste, hale. Oh, so beautiful. And some of you have really been coming for the Ayurvedic inspirations also earlier in the mornings as well. And that's been sort of your thread. So it's been a joy to be with everyone. And I think I was sharing earlier this morning that today, tomorrow, Sunday, we're actually sitting a retreat with Sri Muji Baba, our teacher, the lineage from the root guru of Ramana Maharishi. This is the beautiful lineage of offerings and pointings. And so I feel in many ways blessed and really grateful to come tonight and to offer a sit in the light and the space of having received his pointings also today. And although we can't physically be in retreat, still being in some of that quietude this weekend. And I've put that up on my Facebook page actually, and also on the story on Instagram. So if any of you are wanting to join, you absolutely can join that retreat. So feel free to check that out. Also getting so many questions about past meditations that have been happening over these 5 weeks and where you might find them. I'm saying 5 weeks. I don't really have a concept if it's been 4 or 5 or 6 or where we are now. And so not everything is updated on the YouTube, but if you go onto my Facebook page, you will find all of the classes that we've had together, all of the sessions that we've had together, and you just can sort of scroll down. But they will be all going up onto the YouTube page as well. And I really, really request, actually, it's a request, an invitation, and I hope that you will share some of these also for the benefit of those around you. You know, I say that because I've had many people who have written me and let me know that it's the first time that they've ever sat before, the first time they've ever meditated before, the first time maybe they've ever come to yoga. And for me, it's it's such a blessing. It's just so much grace to hear that in the contemporary context of what's happening, that this has provided the opportunity for people to slow down and to come to this. So any way we can share. Okay, so this morning we were sitting into the inquiry and exploring being here without goal, letting go of any attempt to meditate or to have a goal, to really come goalless, we can say. So often, good morning from India, yes, wonderful, namaste Ajal. So often there can be a confusion that meditation is something that is done, that we come into a specific positioning in the body, but that we also need to be doing something, and in that doing something we see something. So there's an us and there's a seeing. But actually true meditation is a complete and total forgetting of the one that you think you are. Let's just say it in that way. It's a complete and total, not even recognition, because there's no one to be recognized. You already are. It's like I've given the example before of your back. You know, the back is so intimate. It lives with us. It's what we lie upon. It's here with us each and every day. And yet, to see our backs has been very seldom in our lives, maybe in a photo or in a mirror. Even that can be a bit awkward. Right? This morning I was trying to show or something with pulse and I couldn't quite figure it out. So similarly, to see our own backs, but in the same way, to see the self is really to be in and as the self. There's no turning around and seeing it, because actually where we're looking from is our very own self. All that's seen. And just as a reminder, this recognition of all of the various phenomena that have occurred during our lives. The ways in which our minds have changed, the different opinions that we've held, the different perspectives that we may have been positioned in, the way in which we've watched this body shift, the shifting schism, the shifting sort of framework of our lives, whether it's our career or our relationships or our hobbies, all of those things have occurred like phenomena, like a movie, the story of your personality, the form, in so many ways. And then there's been this constancy that has watched all of it. This constancy that you could say, if someone were to ask you to describe it, that just is. It's like the amness, just a beingness. And it doesn't really adhere, it never stuck to one perspective or another. It watched as all of those changed. It never stuck to one body type or another as the body changed and shifted. It just watched the field of the phenomenal, all these phenomena arising and passing. And even in this moment, if there is the mind active, maybe judging or trying to decipher what it is that I'm saying, even that one right now is perceiving and watching the mind as it might be doing that. Or if there's some level of discomfort or something that's distracting in the body and the mind is there with the sensation and trying to figure out something to do with it, there's a one behind the mind and all of its thoughts that watches that game also occurring. And that requires no efforting. It doesn't require any trick or any kind of technique. It's not that we're cultivating something new or curating a whole new state of being. Instead, true meditation is the greatest surrender to what you already are. It's like a coming home. But even that, it's a slippery slope, because it's like, who's coming home if I'm already at home? So maybe, there's this beautiful poem that so often Mujiji will cite from Rumi, from the great Sufi poet, in which he says, knock, knock, knock. And Rumi is offering this, knock, knock, knock. I'm knocking on the door. The door opens to discover that I'm already inside. to discover that I'm already inside. And it's almost like that. We're doing so many things in our lives, and even we take that tendency into the meditation, which we feel like we're knocking on the door of trying to figure it out. Who am I, right? Trying to figure out the self or this meditation thing or peace or make peace happen. And the irony is that if we would just simply recognize, lean back, we would recognize our back that's always been there. And in the same way, the self as the resting constancy, as the boundlessness, that field of awareness that has remained unchanged since the moment you were born, and even before that. So when we come to sit, truly, there are sometimes techniques that I will offer that will anchor the attention, that help to anchor the attention so that the mind doesn't float off. And in that anchoring, then we can see the space under. But actually direct meditation, as it was offered by Ramana Maharishi, by Papaji, by Nisargadatta Maharaj, by Sri Muji Baba, by all these great Advaitins, but also throughout all traditions, actually. They said it's a direct acknowledgement of who we truly are, a direct acknowledgement of our own restfulness, of our own beingness. Uncomplicated, quite simple, actually, and effortless. And actually, we've all had a taste of that. Of course we have in our lives. There have been moments in our lives that usually bring us to the potency of a moment in which all that's there is that very moment. So for example, a vast landscape, standing at the top of a mountain and being so in awe that the breath and any thought stream and everything is taken away, so there's only that. And you can feel the full potency of aliveness that's there. Or, for example, in an intense situation, some women will cite that this occurred in birth. Some say not, but some also say in the moment of birth there was such a no-mind state, or in that space, that there was only that, and an absorption into the isness. This can occur in various moments of our lives. It could be through the inspiration of prayer or hearing something or music. There are so many ways in which we can be brought to the knees, and really be brought to our knees, to the altar of the heart. We could say it in that way. To the altar of the beingness. Where nothing in the ephemeral, nothing in the passing nature of the personality really seduces the attention anymore. It just simply doesn't have weight in comparison to the magnitude of the greatness of the peace and stillness and beingness that shines forth. And in the Vedic tradition, they would say that there's this taste, this recognition that the self at essence is Sat Chit Ananda, pure existence, pure consciousness, pure bliss. That these are really the only descriptors that can be given to it. And so in comparison to that magnitude, all the little movie makings, story makings, matter of the mind, all the things that we tend to get tethered up into, past and future, all of us inclusive, that we start to give so much attention to, are really just games of belief in a ghost. Because we know that this one will also pass, that this situation will also pass, that this belief will also pass. It doesn't even require that much inquiring to discern that there have already been 30, 40, 50 times in your life where you've held fast to something that's created suffering, that you have been so tethered or hijacked by a situation or a mind stream or some kind of thought about something that was happening to you. And now, if you look back upon it, it has no weight. It doesn't exist. In that moment, it didn't exist either. Because actually in this very moment, there's nothing other than freedom. This is what all of the great rishis, all of the great beings are consistently pointing to. Just asking the simple question, really, of what's the problem now? In nowness, is there any existent problem? In nowness, is there anything but peacefulness? Yes, maybe tomorrow or in 10 minutes, but really in the absorption of now. And now. And now. And it's not necessary to make it complicated. Instead, moment to moment, let there be this effortless abiding. And so this morning I was inviting us to come without goal, to just sit, as though almost like you are seated on a bench looking out onto the water. In the same way, we can be seated in the bench of ourselves, our own hearts, looking into the vast beauty with wonderment that exists within us. You can consider it the most beautiful landscape, actually, to become acquainted with the love and the peace and the beauty that reside here now. And in that same kind of attitude of soft surrender, of effortlessness. No waiting, no trying to get somewhere, no attempter or attempt, no timing or trying to turn on an alarm because you're doing something. Instead, just sitting. It's actually, in many ways, we could think of it as the joy of self-love making. To just be meeting our own hearts as the beloved. Let me read to you something that I read today from what is called the Avadutta Gita by Dattatreya. I realize that on Instagram this is backwards, not quite sure why. But anyways, the Avadutta Gita, which is a powerful text, a powerful, really channeling from Dattatreya, offering some sutras about the self. So very simple, and yet at the same time powerful in its potency. The self transcends all, is indivisible and all-pervading. It, you, is free from stain of any attachment. It is immovable and all-pervading. It is without day or night and is all-pervading. Then why do you at all identify or grieve in your heart? You are all-pervading. The self is here in the universal consciousness, which is the all and is undivided. It is here, transcending all, indivisible, and all-pervading. Why then do you identify at all or grieve in your heart? You are without attachment and all-pervading, stainless and free. Let's allow that to be a welcoming into the landscape of ourselves. Allow the body to find comfort and the eyes to close. And come to be seated in that soft bench of now. That attitude of resting, abiding effortlessly as you are. And if simply out of patterning at one moment or another, there seems to be a hypnosis, a hijacking of moving into thought, oscillating in past and future and the movie of the mind. Come back to the uncomplicated boundlessness. The quiet seatedness. Gazing with wonder at the vast landscape of yourself. Nothing else required. This moment as is, being. Take a moment right now to notice, where is the seatedness? Or are you off in thought? And what watches all of that? What sees all of that? What is more intimate than intimacy itself? Just even for a moment, let go of the tethering. Let go of that insistent need to do or act or be as the mind. And instead rest here in your boundlessness. And then very slowly start to gently move the body or stretch and come to open the eyes. And even as the eyes open, let there not be this idea that you go somewhere else, like some breaking of what's here. Instead, now eyes are open and yet residing presence, nothing changed. That changelessness in which even the one with the eyes open, maybe taking phenomena now in, is also seen from that continuum, that constancy. We conclude here for this evening, and we'll meet again on Monday morning at 7 a.m. for Ayurveda, 7:30 for meditation, and 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Vichara Yoga. And that's the same schedule, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays in the morning, and then Wednesday and Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, meeting for meditation in the evenings. Much love to each of you, wherever you are. And namaste, have a beautiful evening or day, and we'll see each other again soon. Okay, good night, everyone.